What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? So, game number 1 of the 2024-25 UH men's basketball season has been concluded, and it was against the Life Pacific Warriors. You're going to notice a big difference there. They're just called the Warriors, while the University of Hawaii is called the Rainbow Warriors. And as you can see here, they dominated UH, I'm talking about, winning 96-61. Now, granted, Life Pacific is a Division II school. I'm going to put up my banner here. It's just pretty much what it says. They dominated 96-61. And I'll tell you this, the way that they played on Friday night was a great way to erase those lethargic wins on the outer islands. I strongly suspected that what they saw on the outer islands, unfortunately, I wasn't at those games, but I did listen on the radio, and I did look up, and I did read the recaps very carefully. And Hilo had the gymnasium was so hot in there, you could probably make a kitchen in there. And unfortunately, UH Manoa could very well have dominated that one as well, but instead they made a ton of mistakes, but they were able to come through with the very narrow victory by 3 points. Then they go to Maui and play against Chaminade. They end up winning by 5. But the problem with those wins, granted they were wins, the problem was, though, they had so many turnovers after exceeding 20 turnovers in both games. They turned it around against Life Pacific now that they were in more favorable conditions. And now the season is underway. Now, looking at that, they had 5 turnovers overall. I'm going to get into the game a little bit more, and I'm very, very pleased that they were able to do that. I'm going to talk about the game a little bit more, but I just thought I'd get at least the score out of the way and some of the things that I was very, very pleased with. First of all, guys, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to. Unfortunately, when you see some of my shots on here, you're going to hear my voice on this because, unfortunately, I got turned away for media credentials for UH men's basketball for 2024-25, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. I completely respect the athletics department. I got nothing but respect for the UH program for sure. Now, am I going to say anything that's going to tarnish their good name? Absolutely not. I am not that kind of person who would say this or that and say, oh, and just retract what I said because they didn't like because they didn't like it. So, I'm not the kind of person who would put this athletics department down because that's not the kind of person I am. I completely respect that. And unfortunately, I will have to watch from the stands. The only thing I can do is just give them my eternal thanks for letting me be a part of the media last season. Now, I could have been really pissy about the matter, but I wasn't. I took it like a man, and I did not do anything that would really hurt my name because the main thing that I was told was that I'm not a big person in the industry, to put it in layman's terms. That I'm not a big media entity, is what I was told, which means, in other words, that means I'm not a big name in the industry, which is unfortunate. I mean, yes, I have been going to the games for 28 seasons now, but you know what? Unfortunately, that's just not enough. Softball and water polo seem like possibilities. I'm going to check with them later, and I sure hope that they allow me to do that. I'm really just a YouTuber who just has nothing but respect for this program. I just wanted to get some shots and add them to grow my channel. And I've already cracked 11,000 subs. Unfortunately, when you look at a lot of other names a lot of other big entity names, those guys probably have about 1 million subscribers to their channels regarding the kind of content that they post. Now, granted, I do pretty much the same thing, except I do have my own shots. I take my shots with my phone right here. This is the only way I get my shots. Everything that I put on my videos is clearly taken by me. I don't steal anything from anywhere. If I do, I'll put a CO in there, and I'll put a CO annotation in there, and then put in where I find it from. But again, this is the real world. I definitely am supposed to do that, but I don't do that because I take my own video. Okay? Every shot I get that you've seen on my channel as of late has been taken by me only. Okay? I just want to clear this up. Now, I am definitely not trying to bring down the good name of the athletics department because, like I said earlier, I have nothing but respect for that department. And the only thing I can do is just give my eternal thanks for letting me be part of the media in 2023-24 at least for UH men's basketball and also softball too. I was able to use my credential to go there. But still, anyway, guys, subscribe. Let's get into this. So, first game against Life Pacific, first official game. Like I was saying at the top of this video, I thought the 2 Outer Island games were not good examples of what this team can really do. And from what I saw on Friday night, they proved me right. Because UH and Life Pacific, now granted, Life Pacific is a not NAIA school, and also a Division II program, which would explain the big gap that they won by 96-61. Now, granted, University of Hawaii does have some Division II schools like UH Hilo, Chaminade, and Hawaii Pacific. But yeah, those are the 3 Division II schools at the University of Hawaii. And UH has been proven to win by a big gap there. But those exhibition games on the Outer Islands didn't prove to be good examples of it, of what this team can truly do and why UH Manoa is Division I. Okay? Life Pacific, give them credit. They gave us a run for our money in the first several minutes of this, maybe first 5 to 7 minutes of the first half. But ultimately, University of Hawaii went on a decisive 18-2 run early, and they were able to cruise throughout. And that had to have been one of the most complete performances that I had ever seen from this squad, especially from a squad that lost over 80% of their scoring at the end of last season, because you had 6 seniors on the roster. 3 of them are grad transfers, one of which, Juan Munoz, was an 8th-year senior and had been with the program for the past 3 years, but injuries had wiped out his 2 prior seasons. And then what happens in the offseason? We lose Morsek. He transfers to Fresno State, and one of the walk-ons, Matias Vedozarevic, he transferred to one of the Division II schools. I think it was something either Mid-Pacific or Azusa Pacific. I'm not sure. But I saw it on the but I did hear it on the broadcast. I just heard something Pacific. It may have been Azusa Pacific now that I think about it. But that, and I emphasize when I say this supposedly, but odds are 99% that it is true because Matias Vedozarevic is no longer on the roster. And I did not see a post from him on Instagram or any social media outlet that he was transferring, which was unfortunate too. Because I probably would have bet that Matia would have been given a more significant role with the graduating class of 2024. But it is what it is, unfortunately. The reality is no college is immune to the transfer portal. So anyway, as far as Live Pacific is concerned, I would definitely give that game an A+ grade because UH came out with a point to prove after how lethargic those Outer Island games proved to be. And like I said, they were not good examples of what this team can truly do. But when this team can put together two solid halves, this is what you get. Now, granted, Live Pacific is a Division II school, and if we were going up against higher power talent, this game would probably have been a little closer. Would we have come out on the winning end of that game? Depends. If it was Duke or Syracuse or even some of the other, or maybe even some other conference opponents like Santa Barbara, it would have been much closer. But coming out on the winning end, that would have been a crapshoot because they got their own roster. They got their own talent. They got their own talent pool. Can we top them? Sure. 99 times out of 100, we'll top them. We will not top them. You got to hope that one time is when you go up against them. And Live Pacific, they got some good talent on their roster. They got 3 guys on their roster who cracked 14 and led the team. One of them, Vince Fier. The other 2, Rico Hopping and Albert Matute. Just took me a little bit just to get their names down. But as far as UH is concerned, oh my God, that was great. The way that they played, they looked like a brand new team, and I saw flashes of how they looked towards the second half of conference season because they did not let their foot off the gas and they kept going for those 50-50 balls. They did have a few turnovers, but overall, they took care of the ball much, much better as opposed to the 2 Outer Island games. Like I said at the top, how many turnovers did they have overall? 5. 5 turnovers only. And some other stats that really stood out, aside from the individual scoring, in terms of second chance points, UH got them all, 23-0. Okay? Turnovers, they had 5, like I said. Light Pacific had 10. Points in the paint, UH romped them 52-16. I have not seen significant stats like that in years, in at least 3 years, okay? 3 or 4 years. The last kind of stat that I remember that was similar was Long Beach State. The first game against them where they outscored their bench 42-4. Okay? Let those little facts stick in your mind. So like I said, I would give them an A+ grade, and they look like they're a lot better team than picked for 7th place in the Big West. Now, you do have to consider they got their own talent, and of course, sometimes there is some good luck that comes your way, and there is some bad luck that comes your way. But from what I saw against Light Pacific, none of that bad luck came Hawaii's way at all. Akira Jacobs led the way with 20 points. I was very, very pleasantly surprised because next to Tom Beattie and Kody Williams, Akira Jacobs looks like he went out and took lessons.
Here's Jacobs. Yeah, baby! Akira Jacobs says, take that!
And it kind of makes me wonder why Akira was passed up a chance to be team captain with the performance like tonight, with the performance like Friday night. Because this keeps up around next season, Akira could very well be one of the team captains for sure. Who were named the team captains for this season? Tom Beattie and Ryan Rapp. And Tom Beattie had a great performance. He had 13 points.
Go, Tom.
Kody Williams, he was put on scholarship for the final 2 seasons of his tenure at UH. And I have a good feeling we'll see him back next season. And he had 14. He nailed all 4 of his triples in the first half. He was 4 for 6. He scored all 14 of his points in the first half on top of that. But another guy that really took me by surprise, actually 2, and they're both newcomers. Gytis Nemeiksa, he had 14. Yeah, he had 14, but he really showed me a lot that he is another version of Bernardo da Silva in the paint. Now, Bernardo was really good in the paint for sure during his 4 or 5 year tenure here. And Tanner Christensen has certainly proven that he's got a good more sec vibe in him. And Jerome Palm, one of the other newcomers, has shown that he's got some beef on him. And I got to say, for all the dunks that I saw from this team, from both Christensen and Jerome Palm, this team has got a lot of beef on them. And they're pretty athletic, too. Do I think we're going to win the Big West? Nah. If the breaks come our way, we could. But that's why I would probably put them for 3rd at best again. 4th seems likely, because I think that this team is going to turn some heads. And if what I saw from guys like Nemeiksa, Jerome Palm, and Akira Jacobs, just to name a few, are any indication, we're going to be in for a hell of a season. Take my word on it. So next time we face off against our future Mountain West rival, San Jose State, who was once in the Western Athletic Conference, or the WAC, where UH was a part of for a very, very long time before moving to the Big West in 2012. Now, I think they're going to win that one, and I'm probably putting UH as, I'm going to say, maybe 6-point favorites. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but you can't discount your competitors like that. If I wanted to, I would have put UH as 15-point favorites, but that's only if I felt really good about them. Now, was what I saw a good feeling about them? Probably, but you got to have a valid point guard, and I've heard on ESPN Honolulu broadcast that they don't have a true point guard, and unfortunately that is kind of true. But from what I've seen from guys like Tom Beattie and Marcus Green and Kody Williams, we've got some legit point guards. They're legit, just not the athletic ones like how we had Roderick Bobbitt for 2 seasons. And make no mistake, finding guys like Bobbitt can be a total chore. So anyway, guys, before I say goodbye, I'm going to try to get in as part of the media for the Diamond Head Classic at the end around Christmas time, and hopefully I won't get turned away. If I do, then at least I tried. I'm not going to give up. I hope that I can make it in the industry. I believe that I can. I just want to be given a chance. You see what I mean? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all for the San Jose State game. And they also play Pacific on Monday. So I'm probably going to do a 2-1 just to keep my plate light. So thanks, guys. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all again. Malama Pona, folks.